So last week, Rich Paul caught a ton of heat for his statements about trading Austin Reeves. Now, he backpedaled that statement. I'll read the quote later in the show. And when you're looking at the Lakers roster and how it's currently constructed, what they lack at this present moment is athleticism because when you see them go up against teams like the San Antonio Spurs, Oklahoma City Thunder, for example, they get overwhelmed by their athleticism. You've got Austin Reeves, who is 27 years old, making almost 14 million a year. And people are like, well, if we trade him, we get somebody better. The problem is you're going to have to add other salaries. That means you take other pieces off this roster. What have we learned about the current state of the NBA and how you construct a roster? Well, you're going to need depth because with the new CBA in place, you're going to need your ninth man and 10th man to contribute out there. And the reason why that's so critical is because if you have these guys on cheap contracts, because you don't want to reach that second apron, they got to be playable. And if they're not playable, that puts more minutes on your starting lineup. And when you head towards the playoffs, they're exhausted and they have to carry a big burden. And they also might risk more injuries because they've been playing all these minutes all year long. So the thing is, you can trade Austin Reeves, but if you're not improving around the margins, like for instance, the Lakers need more athleticism. That's a given. They get overwhelmed by these teams I just mentioned, the Thunder, the Spurs, and also even the Rockets, etc. So when you look at the roster itself, it's not going to be fixed overnight. It's just the reality of the situation. They got to figure out how we can get a better bench. How can we get more point of attack defenders? Because Luka Doncic, unfortunately, is not that good on defense. He's phenomenal on offense, no doubt about it. But also another thing to keep in mind is LeBron James. He's going to be a free agent this offseason. They made it very clear. Take your $52 million and then we'll see you later in the summertime, which makes sense because he's 41 years old. So if you trade a guy like Austin Reeves, who this year is averaging 26.6 points a night, he's shooting 36% from three and 50% from the field. That would be a bad move, in my opinion, because now you give up offense, which you're going to need, especially if LeBron leaves this summer, or if it's a situation down the road where you can't land a top free agent in 2027 because that's their plan. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, what are Lakers doing here? I think for LA, if you're looking at building something around Luka, it might take 2 seasons to get them to championship contender status because Ayton doesn't look great. Marcus Smart isn't a good fit. Those guys need to go, and you got to improve around these margins. I think Gabe Vincent's got to go. Rui Hachimura is a nice piece. Problem is, he's not that good of a defender. I think he'll fit somewhere else where they need his offense. So if I'm the Lakers, the prototype players I'm looking for in this offseason is a DFS or a Herb Jones because you need defense. Add another athlete at the center position, and then go from there. Then you go into 2027. Let's say Austin Reeves is still balling out. And remember, when he was playing, the Lakers looked really good on offense. They've been struggling without him. So you bring in, Luka and Austin, they get more experience together. You add some athletes around the margins, and then you reevaluate the roster. Right now, they're just not a championship contender. It's just the reality of the situation. But I'm not trying to get a player for a quick fix, hoping that LeBron, Luka, and these other players, whoever they get, goes on a championship run. Because if LeBron leaves this offseason and you're left with just Luka and no other offense, then you're going to have a problem on your hands next season. It's going to be like, oh, Luka doesn't have enough help. So this is what Rich Paul had to say after the backlash he received from media and fans. He says here about Austin Reeves, I want Austin to know this is not about Austin Reeves because I love the player. I love the person. I actually need him to help me with my golf game. I'm not trying to mess up anything with AR. This is a hypothetical take. Here's the problem, though. It's a conflict of interest because you represent LeBron James. You can say whatever you want about, oh, I love his game. He can play basketball, but you're telling the organization what to do. You're overstepping your boundaries. You can have hot takes. You can say some crazy things, whatever. But when you are trying to tell the organization what to do, knowing LeBron James on that roster, fans are going to think, okay, are you talking for LeBron James? Is what LeBron's telling you, and you're going out there in public and sharing that information? It's just a messy situation. I think the Lakers are ready to move off of LeBron James. They're ready to just say, you know what? Thank you for getting us a championship. It was a great run. We got to look towards the future, as they should. You should never consider trading a 27-year-old guy just to please a 40-year-old guy who's ready to 41, who's ready to retire. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit your timeline. You've got to prioritize Luka Doncic. Obviously, right now, the roster isn't up to par, and it's going to take them some time to build around the margins. As a reminder, you're going to need some depth in the NBA. You got to develop players. You got to be able to draft guys. So I think the Lakers need to get back to the drawing board. I'm not saying they're not going to attract free agents because Luka's there, but construct this roster in a way where Luca has some defenders on this roster. I just think it's a good idea to just move off LeBron at this point. It's a distraction to the team, and it's good for the Lakers just to move forward and just get away from all this stuff. As this person says here, this isn't about Austin, we know. This is about your client in front of LeBron getting his 5th ring by getting a win now player instead of waiting for AR to develop. Yeah, so people aren't too thrilled with those statements. And I understand if you're a Lakers fan and you're frustrated with the team and you're ready to move off LeBron, I get it. It makes total sense. And if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm looking at the offseason going, let's get players who fit on this roster. Jake LaRavia, I think he's a good fit. He can shoot the ball. He can come off the bench, give you some buckets. Keep him around. But up and down his roster, you got to be honest with yourself. It's not good enough. And they got to go into this offseason just improving around the margins. Like a Trey Murphy, a Herb Jones, those would be the type of players I'm looking for. And of course, another defender. And then you go from there because you're going to need depth. You're going to need guys in cheaper contracts. So you got to draft for, you got to look at your development in the G League of players, and you got to consider, okay, let's pivot. Let's make sure we're mimicking the NBA because now you got to compete with teams like the Spurs and Thunder. They're not going away. They are loaded with assets. They can go into the trade market, add a player immediately. They can go and draft another player. They are loaded for years to come. That's what you're competing with. And the West isn't going anywhere. And if you look at East, there's going to be teams that are going to be on the rise. Like the Pistons look really good. There's going to be young teams that are going to come out of nowhere because they have draft capital. Even like the Hawks. I know they're down right now, but they have a lot of good assets. They're going to have the Pelicans pick coming up. They can retool pretty quickly. I'm not saying they're going to be championship contenders, but you get what I'm saying. The Lakers need to start evaluating what they're doing here. Instead of chasing the big name, improve around the margins, move off LeBron, and just start over. Hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts about what Rich Paul had to say about Austin Reeves. What are your feelings about what he was saying last week about trading Austin Reeves? Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.